Hey everybody, welcome back to the Control Academy. I'm your host Marshall, and today we're playing Azorius Control. I hope that you like this video, and if you do, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you like what we're doing here, I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the deck. So, I've played a lot of Azorius Control's decks on this channel, and this one is a little bit different because it's focusing a little bit more on permanents than what we've normally played with. And this isn't necessarily the enchantments deck that tries to combo off. This isn't something that's, strictly token based, although it does generate quite a few tokens. What's inspiring this deck is AO the Dawn Sky. This card is pretty darn strong. It's a Dragon Spirit, 5/4 for 5, flying vigilance. Not bad at all. And when it dies, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your library and put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Or put 2+1/+1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or a vehicle. So what's really important about this is that the first mode is if you have an empty board, it's essentially kind of like a mini collected company that is not quite so mini actually, because it can grab any non-land permanent. So we can get the Wandering Emperor, we can get Legion Angel, we can get Cemetery Protector, we can get the engines like Wedding Announcement or Faithbound Judge. We can get our Malevolent Hermit, which I'm including in here as a counter spell that can act as a permanent for the purposes of AO, and then we've got Reckoner Bankbuster. And if you have a full board, then this second mode lets you go ahead and put 2+1+ counters on all of the creatures that you do already have, and even if the Reckoner Bankbuster isn't in creature form, you get to go ahead and put 2+1+1 counters on it. So what ends up happening is that this deck trades 1-for-1 in the early game, tries to go ahead and set up some good draws, can wrath away some things against the decks that try to build up a board presence early, but then between tokens from the Wedding Announcements and butts from the Faithbound Judge and Malevolent Hermit, eventually we get to the point where we've actually got a pretty decent board, and then augmenting that with Cemetery Protector, which is here to mostly to be a way to snag something out of our opponent's graveyard that's problematic, or as a way to help us generate more and more tokens for the rest of our deck. So if we go ahead and pick something like Instant or whatnot, we can go ahead and capitalize on those 1/1 humans. Legion Angel is just kind of too good to pass up as a one-of in the main board, with, of course, 3 more in the sideboard. This is probably the biggest flex spot. I was playing 2 Cemetery Protectors there for a little while, but in terms of ways to close out the game, a single Legion Angel is pretty decent. And as far as win cons go, this one, again, falls under that 4 mana requirement for AO. Otherwise, we've got my normal White Wrath package, 2 Farewells and 4 Doomskars. We've got 3 Memory Deluge as ways to refill our hand, pick things up. The Wandering Emperor is impossible to turn away. 4 Fateful Absence, because in white this is probably the more flexible 2-drop removal spell, and then 1 March of Otherworldly Light to clean up anything that we can't catch with the other things. For mana base, we've got Channel Lands, that's no surprise at this point, we've got Creature Lands, and then because this is a 2-color deck, we get plenty of basics even. There is probably an argument that some of these basics should be Field of Ruins, and I'm willing to take that credence, and I'm actually going to edit this deck real time, actually. I'm going to take 2 of these out and put into Field of Ruins. I had forgotten about that until just now. Not that the deck has any trouble killing things, but having just a couple more answers when we're not struggling for colors in this deck is pretty easy. So there we go. We've got 2 Field of Ruin as our main addition to the mana base for this edit. And so with that, if you like this video, please drop it a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing here, consider subscribing. We put out a new control deck every week, and it really means a lot to me if you'd consider supporting the channel with just clicking that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's play some games. All right. First step today is officially a wiener. Hey, they said it, not me. Good luck, officially a wiener. We're on the play, which is always a nice change of pace. We've got decent mana and things we can curve into. I am a fan of this. Why not? Let's do it. Wouldn't have minded a Fateful Absence in this hand, but you know what? You can't have it all. I think that turn 2, we probably Reckoner Bankbuster, unless our opponent's very clearly on control. This could be basically anything. In the absence of knowing what our opponent's on, I don't necessarily want to spend the time suspending Doomskar. Malevolent Hermit is a lot better, especially against the decks that it punishes, when you can play it with a blue mana up. So getting Reckoner Bankbuster out here is probably the best option. There's a good chance that this is just mono white that didn't draw a 1-drop though, so there's a good chance I'll regret not having suspended the Doomskar. But if they're just starting on 2, then not doing too badly. Suspending. Okay, so maybe this isn't mono white. At least not mono white aggro. But we'll see. Play at the Malevolent Hermit. Does mean that we're not activating the Bankbuster yet, but now we've got a counter spell up. White black. Okay. So this is probably a Doomskar. Which, if they want to unleash that right now, then all the power to them. Oh, they're reading. What are they going to do? I guess I don't know for a fact that that's a Doomskar, but that's the only thing I can think of being foretold in Orzhov. But then again, they could have another color that they're just not showing. So let's go ahead and drop some blue here, and then play Wedding Announcement. I like this curve because, again, we still get to leave out Malevolent Hermit. We still won't have activated a Reckoner Bankbuster, but so far I haven't felt particularly worried about drawing an extra card, so that's alright. And next turn, we have the option to leave up Wandering Emperor and drawing with Reckoner Bankbuster. So I'm pretty happy with what's going on. Fateful Absence. Alright, so they've got something they want to counter. In this case, either way my creature's going to the yard, so I guess I'll just take the clue. If they had tried to use Vanishing Verse on it, that would have sacked it just to make sure that I could get the Disturb, but otherwise eventually we'll use this. I'm sure it'll be useful. Ah, Esper. Interesting. So I wonder if this is the Kaido build. So now this is Esper. This could be, what is it? Glimpse the Multiverse. So here, I think what we want to do is drop this on, we've got triple white, triple blue already. Let's go ahead and play it on blue. Got double Emperor. That's a bit rough. Go to combat. So here, it's a bit of a tougher call. I think the answer is to actually play the Benevolent Geist. If they are planning to play counterspell type things, the not being able to counter non-creature spells here will actually be an upside. And then we can draw a card with Bankbuster or the Clue. And then next turn do a Emperor for value. Right now the pressure is not really on in a major way, so the fewer targets I give them, the better. But they're going to answer the Benevolent Geist anyway. That's fine, because they're not pointing at the Wedding Announcement, so I'm not sad about that, actually. They could have done a lot more damage with that march than getting rid of the Benevolent Geist, but it does tell me that they almost certainly have a counterspell. Question is, which counterspell is it? That's actually a good point. It could be the suspended cards could be Saw It Coming. So That is somewhere between likely and possible. Farewell. Hey, and there's our boy AO. Let's go ahead and attack. This will let us draw a card at the end of the turn. And then I kind of want to try to hit a land drop that does price us out of Wandering Emperor, but maybe that's worth it. Like, they are telegraphing a counterspell really hard with the actions that they've taken, and right now I'm not in desperate need of anything. So let's go ahead and draw a card, see if we can hit a land. Well, it's not a land. Let's go ahead and draw. This is maybe a bit bold, but there we go. Well, we did hit the land, so that's good. And then let's try to drop a Bankbuster. If it's Jawari Disruption, they may be tempted to use it here. No dice so far. Alright, Behold the Multiverse. Got one of them right. I'm apparently really bad at guessing opponents' foretell cards. Scored 2 to the top and kept them both. Interesting. There's our second blue source, finally for them, I'm sure. Haven't really seen a ton of their deck, but I'm wondering what they're playing black with, because this is starting to look a lot more like the Esper deck we played last week. So let's go ahead and play this. They've got one blue up, so could be Jawari Disruption, which would be a pain. They could have Gate. I think that it's safe-ish to play AO here. I don't think that there's a counter that they could have that would prevent me from doing this turn. And if they kill it, they kill it. No big deal. I'll pass, leave up the ability to draw with this last Bankbuster, and that'll give me a token. I like that this deck is reasonably aggressive despite having plenty of action to respond to the opponent with. Our opponent may be a wiener, but they're actually doing a pretty good job of keeping our stuff off the board, so cannot fault them for that. If they manage to march this, that'll be really annoying. There aren't a ton of exile effects that they could have, although looking at this, actually Farewell would be really, really busted right here, so I'm really hoping they don't have that. Yeah, Farewell is far too good of a card. Leer, interesting. I assume they're gonna Fateful Absence one of my AO. Be interesting. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Getting a little bit Bankbuster flooded, if I'm being honest, but yep, my turn. I don't have any really clean answers to this Leer. If I boot up the Hall, then I'm technically threatening lethal. They'll have to kill AO. Is that worth it? Because I could boot up the Hall, crew a Bankbuster, and then I'm threatening 17 damage. They've got to block with Leer, or kill something. They can't march the Hall of the Storm Giant, so they don't have enough mana to get through the ward. Question is, do I want to get that aggressive? I think The answer is, why not? Let's go ahead and crew with this. Combat. This is threatening a whole lot of damage, so. And actually the interesting thing is if they kill AO, I could put 4+1/+1 counters over here, and that's actually enough to kill them if they don't block as well. I mean, either way, this Lear can't survive. They're thinking, are they just taking it? No. Alright, well, they didn't block, so put 2 counters on everything and kill you. There you go. AO got us the win. Alright, next one up is Fish. Interesting taste in music. I like Fish, but not quite as much as the people who are really into Fish like Fish. This is decent. We got removal, we've got a counterspell on legs, we've got 2 sort of late game cards, and the mana to cast everything but Legion Angel. I like it. Even on the play to boot. Alright, the first mountain I've seen all evening. Seems good. Play this, and then I think the answer, especially given where we're going to be at, is I want to play Malevolent Hermit. Next turn, I'd like to be able to drop the Faithbound Judge, and if I can, you know, even if they end up burning some removal on the Hermit, then maybe keeps it off the Judge. This is probably the Blood Anvil deck, the Oni Anvil that uses blood tokens to fuel it. The one I, yep. Yeah, the one I mistakenly thought was just Vampires deck last time. Yeah, I'll take one. The Hermit's more valuable. Well, hey, that is a land. Let's go ahead and drop that just to be on the safe side for fun. Play Faithbound Judge and hope for the best. Experimental Synthesizer. Can make 2 2s. Don't think I've ever actually seen anybody use that ability, but it exists. Okay. All right. Daddy's almost home. But if nothing else, we can start chaining Legion Angels together. I wonder if they'll activate the blood token. And so far, they've got some good setup going, but nothing too threatening yet. Blood Tithe Harvester is a thing. Alright, Cemetery Protector. That's decent. They can basically snipe either of my creatures with that Blood Tithe Harvester. If I do this, I'm going to give them another artifact to work with. Let's go to combat. they remove the Legion Angel, then that makes the Fateful Absence plan a little bit better. And so really the question here is, do I play out another Angel, kind of hoping for the best? Do I leave up Cemetery Protector? I think what I want to do is going to Fateful Absence this Blood Tithe Harvester before I can tap. Do they have Deadly Dispute, perhaps? Okay. And we'll end turn. This lets us leave up Malevolent Hermit, and then also another Fateful Absence if we need it. If Faithbound Judge survives, then we're attacking for 8 next turn, which seems pretty good. Lolth the Spider Queen. I will cash in a Hermit for that. Alright, not bad. Let's go ahead and get in. And then here, I think I leave up the Cemetery Protector so that I can also leave up Fateful Absence. It's tempting to drop the Wedding Announcement, but if I could just keep their board from being too scary, which looks like I'm not going to totally succeed at. Yeah, if I can keep these from getting too out of control, then it'll be okay. So the question is, do I kill Lolth, or I think the answer is to actually Fateful Absence one of the spiders, because then it's gonna be harder for them to threaten a productive block, I should say. All right. So I could still go with Cemetery Protector. That is an option. Could do the Fateful Absence. If I do the Fateful Absence, yeah, because this doesn't fly, so that's not quite so good. Alright, I'm going to do this because then I can Fateful Absence during my turn, threaten with the Cemetery Protector. Grab this, so if I cast a Legion Angel, I get a dude. Second AO is interesting, but not quite where I need to be. So let's kill one of these.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
I'll send one of these here, then both these guys over here. Oh, okay. That I should not have attacked with the Cemetery Protector. That was a mistake.
I am merely delayed,
Oh well.
not defeated. I will cull.
That's okay. I've got more Legion Angels. It's the point of Legion Angel, I suppose. I would love to be able to start dropping these AOs, especially with Cemetery Protector set up to generate value. There's the Anvil. Alright. Double Anvil. I'd say I'd like a Farewell, but it's way past the point where that'd be useful. Alright. Alright, so hopefully my punt doesn't punish too much. This is going to get worse before it gets better, is the Sony cult, but it doesn't help that I just cannot draw a 5th land for the life of me. Another Angel. Attack him with the Vigilance dude. The fact that only Cult Anvil somehow gains them life is going to slow things down a little bit, but hopefully we'll still get there. Okay, so they're going to be able to kill one of my flyers. I assume they'll go after the Faithbound Judge. Yep. If I wasn't so stuck on lands, a Farewell would be choice. Man, Fish is really thinking it through over there. Well, let's keep doing what we're doing. Still got one more Legion Angel on the board. Yeah, this one isn't over. If they get another Voltaic Surge, then not doing too great. But there is a chance that that punt with the what do you want to call it? The attacking into the Shambling Ghast is coming back to bite me. So let's see, how do we want to do this? go ahead and do that. Do that. And then do that. Take 4. Yikes. These guys replace themselves, so it's particularly low value to block them. I mean, if they had a Voltaic Surge, they were going to be able to kill any of my big things anyway, so this isn't going to be particularly meaningful in the grand scheme of things. Ouch. Ouch. Stop. Alright, well, let's try to kill them. There we go. Got there. Sorry about that. Good game, Anvil. Alright, next opponent up is Ziki. Good luck, Ziki. Alright, well, we've got Fateful Absences for days. You can technically cast everything they've got in hand. This doesn't do a whole lot if our opponent doesn't give us anything to target, and it doesn't. If we don't draw land, then so we need to both draw land and action. So I don't think I can justify keeping this. So let's mulligan. If we only one or the other, I test it, but. This is much better, and I'll put the Judge to the bottom since that's the only card in the hand that we can't cast with what we've got. Let's see what Ziki's playing. Oh, going up against another blue-white player at the very least. Guess we never actually saw any black cards out of our opponent's deck last game, but have to assume that they were there. Alright, so our opponent's on Esper as well. We'll see what version this is, but I have a feeling that the draw-go Esper format is here to stay. Let's play blue. I think we're safe to Hermit here, and I want to do this. There's a chance that they've got Jawari Disruption, but we can pay for it. And now we've got at least a response up if they try to do something nasty. Like that. I guess I will take the treasure. Wow, this is playing out very similar to the last game. Alright, they've got a Field of Ruin. That is good to be on the lookout for. Play another Plains. And then here... let's try to stick a loading announcement, see what happens. Cool. Enter. See, this is a really bad move from an opponent, because not only did they not have to do that, because this is just an island right now, like unless they desperately need this fixing, which is possible, maybe they need double blue or whatever, but right now not only are they wasting a whole lot of opportunity costs, but they're actually giving me mana that's going to make it easier for me to use my March of Otherworldly Light or activate the clue that they just gave me, which is even better for me. So I am not sad at all. So unless they desperately needed double black there, that was beyond the wrong move to make. So always, whenever possible, let your opponent activate their creature land before you activate Field of Ruin on it prophylactically like that. Yeah, anyway, rant over. It always drives me nuts when I see people like just wildly misplay their Fields of Ruins. You can get it. Now, the way this game is playing out, we are the beatdown, and we've got enough action that I'm going to try to stick another wedding announcement. Unless they got negate, I don't see that going too poorly for us, and now we can still leave up the same action that they let us leave up last turn rather. At this point, like, I assume that they've got to have an answer for our board soon. But now we can sit back and everything we've got is instant speed. I'm tempted to drop this Malevolent Hermit, but let's start by attacking for 3. We'll draw 2 at the end of turn, which could be excellent. And so I think, given where our opponent's at, I think I want to try to get off a Memory Deluge next turn, because my assumption is that at the very near future they're going to wrath our board. Oh, geez, another wedding announcement. That's awesome. And so getting a little bit more action will be good. And this Hollow Storm Giants could have been better timed, but I'm not sad about it. Yeah, Blood Chief's Thirst. That's not a wrath. And so, yeah, you can see that they did not need that double black. All they did was just accelerate what I was trying to do. How much you want to bet that they're sitting on Jawari Disruption being like, could you please stop this? I take the Bankbuster and Hermit. Tempting to take the Judge there because it's kind of a pretty great card, either from the battlefield or the graveyard in this situation, but I really think that the Malevolent Hermit is the better call, given that right now the thing that sets us back the most is a Wrath effect. So what do I want to do altogether? Right now they could be representing more counterspell action, so I want to go ahead and play Malevolent Hermit. There we go. And then I think the answer is going to be to play Iganjo. Attack for 4. See what our opponent does. I'm less concerned about a Wrath now, considering that they Blood Chief thirsted a token. And then here, I will go ahead and I'm going to risk another wedding announcement. Soul Shatter, so it's the highest mana value. Yeah, fine. I mean, not great, but fine. Soul Shatter is not something I worry about here. Get to draw 2. Honestly, we kind of annoyed to have to even discard a card. Here, I don't know. What do I want to get rid of? Let's get rid of March of Otherworldly Light. I'll probably live to regret. Actually, no, that if they drop an enchantment, I want to keep that. So I'll get rid of a Fateful Absence and a Reckoner Bankbuster. Oh, I like to discard 1, so Fateful Absence. For some reason, I thought I had to discard 2. Getting 3 of these is rough. Now they could, now that they've got double white. Alright, well there's finally their Meatcook Massacre. Now that they got double white, they could have Farewell, which would be frustrating. So we got 6 mana up. I think trying to flash in Cemetery Protector is pretty decent. Yeah. Alternatively, I could play Hermit. I could play Hermit and leave up Cemetery Protect. That's probably the right call. And then I can, if I need to activate Hermit, then fine, whatever. But if they don't make me do it, then I've got Cemetery Protector up. Well, let's go ahead and give it a shot. I don't have a ton of overlap with cards that are in my hand. Oh, there's their counterspell. They did eventually have it. Okay, so I've got 7, 8. Let's see what happens when I do this. There we go. We got there. Another one in the bag. Alright. Next opponent up is Zorfunk. Good luck, Zorfunk. Alright, we're on the draw. We've got 3 lands. His hand is not incredible. But is it good enough? If we can draw 1 more land, we're great. If our opponent is mono white, it does not matter. I think I got a mulligan. Oof, this is not better. This is not better. If our opponent is not mono white, I'm going to actually be a little mad at myself for not keeping that first hand, because, ooh, this is rough. Well, hey, that's at least looks like it might be mono white, in which case, never mind. Had answers. At least we can Faithful Absence this Thalia, so we can get things back on track. But yeah, Thalia is not what your boy wanted to see there. Let's play this, and then I will Faithful Absence during their turn. Elite Spellbinder. Yup. That's how it goes, but at least we got the Doomskar in the exile zone already. So, taking the Hermit. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Let's go ahead. So it's mono white. Honestly, the Malevolent Hermit's front side is not particularly valuable. So let's go ahead and pass. Plan on maybe Cemetery Protectoring in response. Yeah. Thalia. Actually, probably should have taken a Faithful Absence, but we'll see. Alright, that is going to be 1 expensive Doomskar. Alright, well we can, as long as they don't have a Skyclave Apparition or a Brutal Cathar, we can block these Spellbinders. Oh, they, huh? Interesting. Okay. Didn't expect that. Let's go ahead and do this. And no attacks. I wonder if that was a misclick, because, like, I mean, the Cemetery Protector is pretty good, but it's not. Oh, okay, they had another one. Got it. Never mind. I still probably would have taken the Faithbound Judge first, but let's go ahead and get ourselves a 4/4 and get a flyer in the graveyard. Okay, last time we played mono white, we flooded. This time, not so much. Next, go to combat, attack. What you gonna do? The correct answer is to block with the apparition so that when I wrath, I don't get to keep the 3/3. They're betting that I don't have a Doomskar, which is not a good bet. So let's do this. Not out of the woods, but feeling better than I was a minute or two ago. Portable Hole will do it. And Brutal Cathar seems decent too. Alright. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, graveyards. Why not? Wait. That wasn't supposed to... What? Oh, it's because it does artifacts first. Ugh, yikes. Alright, well, that is... I didn't process that that wasn't gonna... I mean, I don't need the Hermit that badly, I guess, but it would have been nice. Yes, Adeline is going to be a problem because it does not tap to attack. That cave does. Alright. Resolve. It's probably more valuable as a flyer. Comes back as a 2/2. Let's just take the 3. Alright. That is not bad at all.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Because now we can defend with Hall of the Storm Giants. Luminarch is not going to solve all your problems here. Oh, come at me. Please come at me. Do it, do it, do it. Ah, okay, they passed. Good call. Plus on him.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Are they really hoping to get that thing fat enough to attack through a Hall of the Storm Giants? I don't think that's going to go the way you hope it will, especially not with that and that. Zangzadam. Alright, there we go. Let's AO the non-sky. AO. There we go. We got there. Alright, next opponent is Floppy Dog. Good luck, Floppy Dog. Alright. Oh. This hand is fine. It's got removal, it's got way to draw cards, it's got a threat. It's not thrilling, but it's good. Another blue deck. Gotta love it. If I get nothing but Esper Control matchups, I'm going to be a little annoyed for the sole purpose of content, but seeing this much control in the format is not something I'm sad about. The question is, will we be able to adequately prey upon it? I'm going to go ahead and... my options are to play another Bankbuster, which potentially plays into a counterspell on their side, or draw with Bankbuster. Drawing seems more valuable here. I guess if they... Okay, Behold the Multitude. I was going to say, if they destroy the Bankbuster on my end step, then a little annoying, but not the end of the world. Alright, let's go ahead and draw a card. Got plenty of mana. Actually got... like, this hand is looking pretty nice, honestly. So let's put this on blue. And then here... our opponent is... We are almost certainly the beatdown, given how our hand is shaping up. So playing into what they've got there, it doesn't feel great. So my options are to play another Bankbuster and then leave up drawing with a Bankbuster, or I can leave up Wandering Emperor. I think that's the higher value play. We'll see if that ends up being true. Well, we got two of them, so if they counter the first one, there are worse things. So they're playing Foretell cards, so I'm kind of banking on them not having a Saw It Coming here. Alright, Jawari Disruption. That's fine. Tested the waters there. Let's play this out, and then let's try for a Legion Angel. Start chaining these together. And then crew up this guy. Attack. Again, we are the beatdown, whether I want to beat or not. Wandering Emperor, okay. Tapping pretty low is a bold move there.
You're done.
The lines from the Wandering Emperor are kind of hilarious. Here, I think I want this on... Ooh, actually, we've got a lot of white in hand, so let's go ahead and get some more of that down. So we've got 6 mana available. Unfortunately, going to be kind of limited in what we can do. So let's go ahead and Legion Angel. And then grab another one. And then here, let's crew. And then go to combat. And I don't really want them to get a samurai. Well, do I care? Just get them closer. When they, if they plus it next turn to just keep it around, then I can react accordingly. But here, or I could Fateful Absence it. That's probably not the right call. I think the best call is to drop another Bank Buster while they're low on mana. These are kind of nutty. Devastating Mastery. Okay. I get to pick up 2. So let's go with... Do I take both Bank Busters or do I take a mix? I think I take both Bank Busters because the Legion Angel we've got in hand is going to get a second one. There's only so many we're going to be able to cast over the course of this game. And so what I'm going to do is cast this Legion Angel, grab the last one out of our sideboard, and play a Wedding Announcement. And that'll start churning us out some extra value too. Main phase Memory Deluge, especially since they play the land. I guess they're just trying to go while we're tapped out, which I guess that makes enough sense. Alright, all the Storm Giants. Alright, so we've got 5 damage on board. Alright, so not enough to just kill them outright. So let's start by trying to smack them for some damage. We have 7 mana available to us, so... And they've got no blue mana available. So let's go ahead and play another Angel. And then I'll play out a Bank Buster. There is a pretty high probability that this is playing into another Wrath from our opponent, and that is a realistic problem, but we've got enough action that, especially considering the Hall of the Storm Giants here, that we're not totally... Ooh, okay. There we go. That, yeah. I kind of saw that coming, but... Now, let's see. I can Hall the Storm Giants, get in for 7, get them to 2. That's not bad. Or I can Wedding Announcement twice. Let's put him on the ropes. All right. All right, now they've got plenty of mana available. Do I just make them have it again? Or do I play out these? Could technically do both. Let's do this. And if they manage to kill this, then I get to play Bankbuster. They must have an answer, right? Yeah, here it comes. Fateful Absence. March of Otherworldly Light. Okay. So... okay. I mean, they still gotta pay 4 mana for it, so... alright, and then here, we'll play a Bankbuster. The March of Otherworldly Light is excellent. Oh, they had a negate, finally. Alright, good for them. They might be able to grind this out on 2 mana, because I've got to be the beatdown here. So, now here, now I've only got 1 haul left, so let's go ahead and try to play this a little bit more carefully. I was willing to YOLO the first haul, but not the second one. They got another negate. Okay. I have another wedding announcement. Game 3, draw a card. Okay. That is not awful. I will give them that. I feel like because they've been matched against a UWX, this is the 3rd time in a row this is looking way more like an aggro deck than normal. So, again, ooh, interesting. They're going to minus their Emperor against
Hat's coming off.
Against a token? Oh, of course they're going to make a Samurai. Of course they're going to make a Samurai. Why would they make it? What do I want to do here? Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I'm going to get bonus tokens. Or no blocks. Okay. Yeah. So here, they've got 4 mana up. I think I'm going to try to Wandering Emperor on their turn. There's a Memory Deluge. So, change of plans. I'm going to Wandering Emperor right now.
Run away. You'll be safer.
Make a Samurai.
May your blade strike true.
This is decent. I can still leave up Fateful Absence and Memory Deluge. Against a control mage who's playing the reactive role. Oh, well, there's a Field of Ruin. Are they good? Okay, in this particular scenario, it actually works out better than one might expect. But again, don't prophylactically activate your gosh darn Fields of Ruin. Like, if they had done that in response to me activating it, it sets me back so much further. Just like so much further. Alright, so they're going to get clever here because they think they're going to make a samurai after this. And I'm here to say, nuh-uh.
Try not to miss me.
Alright, let's make a new samurai.
Let your blade do the talking.
Hold on, yep. Let's Memory Deluge, see if they negate this. Well, I've had better Memory Deluges, at least in this scenario. Let's try for another wedding announcement, see what happens. Seems decent. Alright, and pass turn. Get 2 more dudes. I mean, I have to imagine that they've got plenty of wraths at this point, but... Alright, Revitalize is doing its job. Another Farewell would be... not great. I mean, that's got to be what they're digging toward. There's another Farewell, and it ain't great. Oh, boy. Let's Memory Deluge. Opponent is doing a good job at stabilizing here. I'll give him that. Bankbuster is great. Let's grab a Field of Ruin. I'm assuming at some point they'll have creature lands. I think I am out of creature lands at this point. I think I only put 2 of the who's a what's it's in there. Given where they're at, I'm going to make sure I spend my colorless mana on this Bankbuster. Stop! Alright. Plus on nothing. And pass the turn. Floppy Dog's doing a better job fighting than the last 2 control opponents. Like, they're not doing everything right, but they're doing enough right that I respect them. And this is the one downside of not having quite so many just like gigantic game-ending threats like Hullbreaker Horror, which may be what our opponent is playing toward. But if we can draw an AO, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, they've got some exile effects, but they've played 2 Farewells and Farewells and Devastating Masteries. Like, they can only have so many of those, right? Cool. All right, this is okay. I like this. All right, so let's play out Hermie. Hermie the card here. Go ahead and deluge yourself. They've got all 4 deluges in their yard. That is something. Alright, so we've got 8 mana up. So I can afford to drop one of these. Then I'm going to plus on the Judge and leave up Cemetery Protector. Interesting. Sunset Revelry. Well, that's definitely clawing them back in the game. Yeah, go for it. Let's go ahead and try to land a Cemetery Protector. Gonna go ahead and yank a Memory Deluge. Alright. Put a +1/+1 counter over here. Go to combat. I'll attack. Assume they split them. Alright. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and sit on as much mana as possible. Leave up Memory Deluge, Fateful Absence. Be all good. Haven't drawn everything I want to draw, but yeah. The Malevolent Hermit is a lot less valuable in this scenario because they have a pretty decent chunk of mana, but it's still a pretty decent deterrent. Interesting. Let's go ahead and rip some cards, and it'll get us extra human. Alright. Not really seeing the parts of the deck that I want to see, so let's go ahead and, you know what? I'm just gonna go all in on hermits. Alright, I've got 3 mana left. My turn. Okay.
Strike fast and strike hard.
They're just gonna take it? No. This is blockers. Okay. Okay. Fateful Absence on the Wandering Emperor. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's fine.
Back to wandering.
Still have one more Emperor in the deck, so saw it coming there. Either way, I'm losing a Hermit, so I'm not too worried about it, I guess. Then here, I've still got 9 mana up, I think. So I think I do this. End turn. Let's see. They've got 2, 4, 6, 8 mana. That is enough to pay for 2 of these. That's annoying. Got 7 mana up. Yeah, that's fine. And now we can actually throw the Judge on them from the yard, which is not the worst thing in the world. Maria's Call. Okay. Well, we're going to be able to put these Doomskars to work finally. Alright, AO is a good call. And let's go to March. Alright, and they are basically tapped out. So here's what I want to do. I want to Doomskar. And then AO. As long as they don't specifically... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, as long as they don't specifically exile it, we're basically good there. But, ooh, that was fun. I love those grindy matchups. All right, next opponent up is Bernie9. Good luck, Bernie. All right. I like these cards, but being a little short on land is not ideal. We are on the play, though, but gotta send it back. This isn't particularly better. Still gotta get lucky on the land draws, but at least we got a way to draw cards and something. I think I keep it. So it's one of these two that go back. If we're facing against a control deck again, then I want to put Farewell back. AO is a little easier to cast, I guess. Wandering Emperor is also removal. I'm going to put Farewell back. It's when I have the least chance of casting if I don't draw lands. But we'll see. It's not often that I hope that our opponent's playing aggro, but here we go. It's not quite the aggro card that I expected our opponent to play, but entirely for content reasons, I just need this opponent to be something other than Blue-White X Control. Cave of the Frost Dragon. Alright. Spirited Companion. This is an interesting mono white deck for sure. We'll play this on white, since that seems to be the color of the hour. And then here, it is tempting to draw a card, but like, let's keep trying to play on curve. Wedding Announcement is a good call here on turn 3. If we don't draw a land next turn, then I'll start trying to crack the Bankbusters. Sparring Regimen. Ready attack, put it. Ooh, yikes. That's pretty decent. And then with the Star People, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. But Wandering Emperor, if I can get to 4 mana, will make that less problematic. Introduction to Prophecy. Interesting choice. Here, go ahead and just save the 2 damage. Might not be the correct move, but give it a shot. This is kind of what I was worried about, honestly, because now if I don't draw a land off this, then, yep. Yep, we're missing land drops, but at least we got blockers. The upside being that we would not have gotten a land even if we had activated this last turn. So, at least we're generating dudes in the meantime. Yeah, that's an interesting call. That is the right way to do it. Yeah, let's block. Yep, I think, hey, you did not need to do that.
I hope you're ready to lose. Yeah. We must protect.
Alright, well, foretell this and hope we get a land next turn. At least, oh, jeez. Well, this is going to be a much appreciated wrath effect, for sure. We just need to draw 2 more lands and we're golden. 1 more gets us pretty far away, honestly. Yes, yes. Play into the wrath. Let the pain flow through you. Okay.
We've got the edge in this
Well,
one.
there's that, finally. Yeah. Fortunately, this Cave of the Frost Dragon is gonna be rough too, but if they end up leaning on that, at least the Wandering Emperor will make short work of it. I don't see us winning this one. That was too many turns taken to get to this. Okay.
Keep watch for intruders.
Alright, well, here's all the land. So we've got... wait, blue. Alright, so here the question is... If we play out AO, they're just going to reduce the memory, so there's no real point in doing that. I think just leaving up the Wandering Emperor is the best call. Yep. Need to draw some more wraths.
Read our enemies.
Okay. Specifically need to draw Farewell. Okay. Here's the Emperor.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you. You are not much of a roadblock.
Okay. So, I don't think we're winning this one, unfortunately. But I can make... yeah, that doesn't matter, actually. Let's draw a card. Maybe I can draw a Fateful Absence. That is not a Fateful Absence. Yeah, they're gonna deal... Yeah, they're gonna deal plenty enough damage next turn to kill me anyway. Yeah. Good game. Wonk wonk. Alright everybody, welcome back for the wrap up. Now, I know I always say this, but this deck was awesome. It was fun, it was strong, it was great. And the reason I always say that is because I put a lot of time and effort into building these decks and testing them before I record videos. So it does mean a lot to me for those of you who stick around to the closing to see every game and see the effort that I've put into this because, you know, again, it's a non-trivial. You know, I don't just build something random or grab it from MTG top 8, although sometimes that is a great starting point. I built this deck coming from a point of trying to make something interesting and strong, and I think I really succeeded here. And so I have played 7 games with this deck. 6 of them were on camera, 1 of them was not. It has lost 1. I'm going to include that one here. It was against that mono white counters deck. It was interesting. That one was really strong, and I think that this deck has a lot more action against it than that game implied. We got really tied up on mana, and so it's not really the most interesting game to watch, which is why I'm probably going to scoot it toward the end of the video. But honestly, part of the reason that I'm including so many games, and including that one, even though it's not a particularly interesting one, is we played blue-white control 3 times. I guess technically twice was Esper and one was just pure blue-white. And so we can tidily say that this wins the control mirror. We beat the Oni Cult Anvil deck. We beat Mono White. I beat Mono White both on camera and off camera, so it's real good against the white decks. I haven't played this against the Runes deck, and I expect that that's probably the biggest challenge for this one, but we have enough removal and enough ways to attack back that I think we've got game there. If I encounter that matchup when I'm playing this deck throughout the week, I'll post it up either as a separate video or I'll put up some highlights as a short. But that's kind of like my biggest question mark, because so many people are playing the Runes deck that I need to at least convince myself that this is a reasonable answer to it. But otherwise, AO was a big enough threat that a lot of people just scooped to it. We saw its death trigger literally end a game, so I never actually got to use the collective company mode, which is what I put it in here for. But there was a person who they let the damage through and killed AO in response, and then I just dumped 4 more damage onto the other creatures, and that was enough to add up to lethal. So as a top end threat, AO is a lot stronger than what I give it credit for. I'm kind of interested to play it in a deck that has black with something like Deadly Dispute to be able to sort of trigger this more on demand, because if the opponent just doesn't do anything about it, like a 4 toughness creature is not the biggest threat in this format. It's a little bit easier to deal with, but again, if they're dealing with it with anything but an exile effect, you're definitely going to hit with the first ability in this deck, and if we've got any tokens out, then the second ability is going to hit real hard too. So doing all right there. The Cemetery Predictor was a little underwhelming. It did generate some more tokens for us. The ability to exile from the graveyard was relevant maybe in one match, but even then it was just a kind of a edge case. But being able to snag an instant or a creature and generate more human tokens was valuable. But this is probably the least interesting card in the deck from my perspective. Legion Angel was really great. Wandering Emperor is, just so good. I liked the card during spoilers, but it has turned out to just be my favorite auto-include since the standard format started. So love this card. The Wedding of Announcement is always good everywhere it is. Faithbound Judge is one of those cards that I was a little bit torn by because this deck wants to be a little bit more aggressive. It is still a control deck, but it becomes the beatdown much more often than some of the other Azorius decks I've played on the channel. So the Faithbound Judge is kind of in the middle of there because it comes down and it doesn't really attack, but it's a bit slow to get started, and so it's a little bit at odds with that theme of the deck. But that being said, the number of times that we managed to get this off the ground and attacking is pretty high, and I do like having the backside of this available as an alternate win con. It didn't come up in these games. There was one game where it was maybe about to be relevant, but then the opponent managed to exile it from the graveyard. And so I think this is one that you can switch out, but as a early 4/4 blocker, it's pretty great. And if it sits around long enough to attack, it's pretty good too. So don't sleep on the Faithbound Judge, but if you wanted to swap this out for something else, I wouldn't blame you. Otherwise, Reckoner Bankbuster continues to be a really great card, and here it can actually attack more often than you'd expect, and sometimes it's attacking for a lot of damage if it gets +1/+1s from Wedding Announcement and AO. And then the Hermit ended up being really, really useful here. This card is really growing on me in a lot of different ways because it's just so flexible. It's not for every deck, but this one really uses it well. Fateful Absence is really good. March was choice in a couple places. I had the thought as I was playing this is, does this potentially want a third color? there's a chance that maybe black could be good in it, but honestly, it was so streamlined and so strong at blue-white that I don't necessarily know I'd want to even really challenge the mana base anymore. But that being said, I do think this could afford to have one more creature land, either another Hall or maybe even a Cave of the Frost Dragon. The attacking with the creature lands was a really great way to sort of shore up some of those last lines of defense if the opponent did wrath after wrath after wrath after wrath. And so I feel like I maybe was doing myself a disservice by only having 2 creature lands in the deck. But otherwise, that's blue-white AO control. If you liked it, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this every week, like I said, I put together at least 1, if not 2, creative control decks for this channel every week. And so if you want to see more of that, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. The channel is growing, and I really am excited to be able to share this content with as many people as possible. Anyway, until next time, I'm your host, Marshall. This is the Control Academy, and I'll see you then.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of